You're tuned in to a one-take
podcast production.
This is the time of year we wait for all the time, all year long. This is what we wait for.
Are you ready?
Yo, Jacksonville Jaguars has to be a team full of sleepers. You talking fantasy football and you're not looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars for deep sleepers. I don't know what to tell you. It is reality football. It's Andrew Luck all day. It's no better quarterback in fantasy football than Andrew Luck. You can keep your A-Rod, you can keep your Paytons. Give me Luck. I want the touchdowns, the rushing touchdowns. Give me Luck. If you're watching football and not playing fantasy football, then you're not watching football because it's no longer fantasy. It's a reality. Yo, I'm back. I've been gone for a long time. Work has taken over my life, but I am back on this thing doing a nice time frame of the day. I'm here to talk what everyone know I love. I'm here to talk fantasy football, and I had to bring on someone who's been with me along this journey for a while now. Outside of Meeks, the other B, we can have a show called The Three Bs. I got my man, none other than the sports guy in the shop, my personal buddy, B Loveless. What's up, boy?
What's going on, Dev, man? It's been a long time, boy, since we both did this, man. It's been a while, man. We got to get right back into motion. I like the sound of that name that you just pulled up, the Three Bs, man.
Yeah,
like the get something rolling off that.
Like the BBB, like the Better Business Bureau, we could be. And I know my man Meeks is probably heated like, this motherfucker gonna get on air with Loveless. And I've been sitting here holding it down, but we know, I say in the beginning of every show, I'm gonna be done kissing your ass in a minute. But I gotta kiss his ass because shout out to the boy in Milwaukee. He been doing his thing. He kept one take growing. He continued to put out heat. Him and my man's out of Ohio. My man, godly, I've been gone so long, I can't remember my man's name. My man Wood. They've been doing their thing. I've been gone, but we back. We finna give it this reboot. So once again, if everybody can see me, I'm giving the salute, the standing ovation to my man, none other than Brian Meeks. Y'all know his favorite word. What's going on, world? I'm back to tear this man up on air. He can't. Last time he was on air, every football prediction we had against each other, I annihilated him. And I know a lot of y'all want to know, why did I drop again in the beginning? Because in so many ways, I want to just flaunt in y'all face that I was right. And one of the big things it says in that drop is, you talking fantasy football, you're not talking Jacksonville Jaguars, you're not talking fantasy football. And I hate to be that one, Loveless, but it came to fruition. I called it. I explained to people. Jacksonville Jaguars was a team full of deep sleepers. And week in and week out, they've been producing. You're seeing people take the likes of Allen Hurns and Allen Robinsons as must play in FanDuel's, DraftKings. You're also seeing people like that had quarterback problems taking Blake Bortles off the waiver list. Somehow in our league, he was drafted. I'm telling you, I think I'm in one of the deepest leagues in the U.S. I mean, me and you talk every day. Every time you try to call me with a sleeper, I'm telling you, he either was drafted or already gone.
Right.
And just to give a catch up on my league, and we're going to talk about where you standing, because we're going to talk fantasy. In my league, I'm currently in number one. I took an L this week to another, I ain't going to call him a close buddy, because I really don't like him this week. But it took him 4 years, a long time listener, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the first ones to follow, first one to hit play. None other than the original co-host with the most. My man Chris Colston put a whooping on my ass that was against the law this week. I mean, I took one. I know y'all like, why you so calm? I mean, when you go into the week, I'm not a person that really believe in projections. But when you go into the week and see that half of your team is projected 0, you know what I mean? It's like,
oh, man. You know you in trouble.
You know you're in trouble when Marshawn is on by, Matt Forte is hurt. I mean, my running backs was Duke Johnson and TJ Yeldon. You know what I mean? That's a scary matchup because y'all know I believe in matchups. TJ Yeldon against the Jets, I mean, for him to squeeze that 10 points out was already was beneficial to me. I mean, right now, the boy up on me 131-68, and he still got Tone Gates to go. I do got Robbie Gold going, so I'm going to touch up on that lead a little bit. But shout out to the man for beating me. You know, I might drop to third place, not sure. I mean, everybody know I stay at the top in that particular league. It's been a great year for me over there. Couple issues I'm going to hit on that because we're going to talk later about letting your family starve. I know what you talking about, Dad. Y'all will get what I mean by letting your family starve. Also, my other cash league started off kind of rough. Right now, I'm looking to finally go for 500 for the first time. I'm 4-4. We're looking at opportunity to go over. Guy got a couple players going tonight. But I'm a little confident in the lead that I got. If I can go up in that league, I went from last place to fourth place in the last 3 weeks. That'd be good because, once again, me and my homie Chris is in that league. He's in first. I'm in fourth. We pretty much dominated a baseball league this summer, with the exception of me. I sucked. But my boy Lamar and him were 2 top contenders. So if y'all are really about that fantasy life, don't feel like you can't hit us up. You can hit me up at bdav10241984 at Gmail, or just hit me up on Twitter, Mr. Dav1024. Me and my guy Chris is willing to all open challenges in fantasy sports. We actually love this. We do this because of that. And with me saying loveless and love this, which is a word play, Loveless, tell us how your fantasy season going.
I mean, right now in my cash league, man, I'm sitting at third. I'm sitting a pretty penny, man. Even though one side of the bracket is jacked up more so than the other one. But I mean, right now my team right now is sitting on technically, I'm sitting at a nice third on a team full of guys that I had to put in because of injuries, man. Injuries been hitting the league hard this year, man. And then you had the guys that were fantasy, quote unquote, fantasy flops that you had to drop, or people got hurt, and then you just had to go into panic mode. And a lot of the guys that are sitting on my team right now are full of guys that were technically fantasy sleepers that woke up and jumped into that position to blow up, like a Stephon Diggs and guys like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like some of them things you can't avoid. One thing I tell people all the time, the best thing about fantasy is now you get to become Isaac Newton. You get to create your own theory. And a lot of these plays I avoided because of a theory that I have adapted that I'm running with. Now, one thing I was wrong on, as I gloated earlier, I would be wrong to sit here and say, you go back to some of my earlier podcasts, I had Andrew Luck rated highly over Aaron Rodgers. That has not came to play yet. Andrew Luck numbers have not been the Andrew Luck numbers that you would like to see. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when you look at Andrew Luck numbers, like we're gonna look at Rodgers numbers first. Rodgers has hit you for 24, 18, 37, 10, 11, 15, 1, and 29. We know where that one came from. That one came against Denver. He struggles against top fives. That was something I kept telling people last year. Like, when you play him, he struggles against top five. Now, we look at Luck numbers. Now, we know the Coach records, but like Luck got 14, 5, 12. He missed 2 games, 25, 19, 11, 19. Those are solid numbers. And I think with him getting those 19s and the 25s, coming in them plus standard is one of the reasons fantasy owners have not given up on Luck. Because I was looking to see more people give up on Luck because of how bad the team was playing. But no one, On top of he got rib injuries too. Rib injury, shoulder injury. I mean, the brain injury. It looked like his brain don't work. Some of the passes he's throwing, like some of them passes. Some of them passes this young man is throwing. It doesn't look good at all. But I kind of stayed away from a lot of those injury plays, and then it finally caught up with me. I'm gonna steal my boy Thunder one last time. He always say, "You keep trying that cute shit. You being too cute." finally the Matt Forte injury really affected me. Because other than that, I was so deep at other positions because I took the chance on Brady. I drafted Eli to be my quarterback and took the chance on Brady. And then I signed Ty God. If y'all don't know who Ty God is, that's Tyrod Taylor, you know. I signed Ty God.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I was just deep, like, you know what I'm saying? I got him. And then Marshawn. Marshawn caused for a tad bit of panic early in the season for me. I moved some players to get a running back to compensate for what Marshawn was missing because, as I said in the podcast earlier this year, the running back position was thin. You knew who the top three was, right? You knew who
CJ. It was Marshawn, Eddie, and it was Marshawn, Eddie, and CJ Anderson. I think. They were the top three.
Le'Veon was number overall. Le'Veon, Jamal Charles were 1 and 2, followed by Lacy.
Right.
Now I wish, you know what I'm saying, when we get all fancy, you know, when you motherfuckers start donating some money so we can continue to help other podcasters through One Take Podcast, I can recap that show. But I know me and you talk all the time because we're in the same division. So we got hate for similar teams, and then we hate each other teams almost. But I think because of our friendship, we became a little more more of a quiet Lions fan. And I've always had a small love in my heart for the Bears. So you may remember this podcast. I remember reading the numbers off. I say Aaron Rodgers is ranked the number 1 quarterback. Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson, these are preseason rankings. I don't want to play, well, Jordy ain't touched the ball. This is preseason. When Jordy Nelson was ranked number 4 and Cobb was ranked number 5 consistently across the board, and Eddie Lacy was ranked 3rd, I say this is an oxymoron. And you agree with me to an extent, but my man's Meeks like, you hating on the Packers, bro. I'm like, how can you have 5 offensive players respecting their position as the top 5 of their position? Someone is going to hurt. And I said, and what I said on that podcast, Eddie Lacy is not the one that you touch. Because
he's a second half running back.
Because he's a second half running back. But right now, it's looking like he's not even a halfback. Like, it's to the point where it's so ugly. If you're an Eddie Lacy owner, it is so fucking ugly for you right now because you took a top 3 pick. Now, I don't want to hear people say, oh, well, that's why I drafted Freeman. You a fucking lie if you got Freeman and you expected that. Coleman was the running back. Coleman got hurt.
Everybody that got Freeman either really, 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 really late or got him off the waiver wire, bro. Everybody who said they drafted him, lying. They telling us fib out they behind.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Coleman was the back. Coleman got hurt. I don't know what. I mean, seriously, somebody need to fucking test Freeman from them weeks because Freeman was unbelievable. I had a play where a guy offered me Freeman for Tom Brady. I was so scared because the numbers were so astronomical, I bagged out of it, and I needed a running back. Like, I'm going to tell y'all exactly what trade I made. Instead of taking Freeman straight up for Brady, I fucked around and dealt Brady, DeAndre Hopkins, and Shane Vereen for Julio, Cam Newton, and Duke Johnson. I was high on Duke as a productive back in my format. Like I said, I have my own theory. I'm not telling everybody, go get Duke. But Duke numbers was consistent enough that he can fill in for me when Marshawn, because Marshawn, you didn't know what Marshawn was doing the first half of the season. Marshawn was
first four games he was putting up fantasy wise. He wasn't putting up more than 3 or 4 points, bro.
And you look at Duke where week 1 against the Jets, no one really runs against the Jets. 2 points. Week 2, 4 points. Week 3 he got 7. Then he turned it on. Like, Duke went on a nice streak. 22, 10, 6, 11. And then it's been like
getting them Matt Forte numbers.
Right, then it's been like 5. I mean, it ain't been that home run, knock out the part that I was looking for. But during that stretch when I was trying to acquire Duke, he accumulated 60 of his 82 points